This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. A few minutes ago, it sounded like the 4th of July on the National Mall as the hometown Redskins were introduced to this sold-out crowd. They are set to go as their guys will match up with the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. More now on the return. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They're led out by their big-bodied electric quarterback, Cam Newton.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Here we go.
On 1st and 10, Newton. And this will complete right side to Funchess. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. Now a carry, it's C.J. Anderson. Anderson a first down and more. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, touchdown, Carolina. C.J. Anderson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers are going to take a first quarter lead. And personally, what a start for him to get in the end zone from that distance here on the first drive.
And it has the defense tearing up their defensive goals for the game, doesn't it? Because nowadays, when we talk to all the coaches, they don't talk about limiting yards per carry and those things. They just talk about limiting explosive plays, whether it's through the air or on the ground. And anything an explosive play on the ground is usually, 10, 12-yard runs? This one was way more than that. They've got to go back to the drawing board and try and shut it down.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. Extra point try good by Gano. And that makes the score 7-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Gano out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, We're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
That run is what defenses don't like about dealing with Adrian Peterson. His ability to drop a shoulder and run through contact.
And he's amazing at keeping those strong legs going, isn't he?
For him, no run is ever truly over. I mean, he's actually not even convinced that when they blow the whistle, he's actually down. That's how he finishes runs in a big way.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
Jordan Reed's coming off of an injury-plagued season that set him back and held him to just 6 games. And Washington's definitely hoping he can get back to his 2016 Pro Bowl form. That made him one of the most dangerous tight ends in the game. And in fact, when he runs routes, it's often equated to a basketball player with a great crossover move. A lot of guys just can't stick with him.
They toss it left side to Peterson. Adrian Peterson, touchdown, Washington. Adrian Peterson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
Hopkins with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. Moore now to return. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Here's Anderson as they begin this series on the ground. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
And it was too bad that last season for Greg Olsen, their tight end, that a foot injury plagued him and limited him to 7 games played, broke his streak of 1,000-yard seasons, but he'll get back in form. One of the best route runners in the league, a combination of strength, guile, smarts, and a little dash of speed.
On second down, Anderson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. A dump off to Anderson. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
that goes in the category of a play that the defense is going to cherish and excites them. A completion, yes, you give up the pass, but no gain. I mean, that's exactly what you want on defense.
And sets up the 4th down. Crowder now to return. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you're heading down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Throw left side complete. It's Peterson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and about a yard.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Looking to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball. He was looking to get that one to Chris Thompson. And it's 3rd and short. And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
And that means Julius Peppers takes the field at defensive end. How about this? 38 years old, he turned in January. But he's the 4th all-time sack leader of active players. Had 11 sacks in 2017. Expect more of the same in 2018 with the Carolina Panthers. Defensive end, outside linebacker, it doesn't matter. Julius Peppers gets to the quarterback.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
When you're dead last in the NFL in 3rd down conversions, the odds are against you every time you face it. How about him picking up that one? That was big for them.
A first carry for Samaje Perine. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They toss it left side to Peterson. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They give it to Peterson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best running backs who are having big days.
Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. This one complete to Jordan Reed. And brought down, but not 25. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
On first down, he'll drop to throw. This one caught by Crowder. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Here we go now. Green.
Now Pirine. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. That's now 4 tackles for loss if you add the 3 he had last week to the 1 here in the first quarter.
And some of it comes from vision. And when you're playing defensive end, especially with those teams that want to take their D-ends and move them out a little bit wider so they can see into the offensive backfield, they can see things develop, able to make plays, then they use their athletic ability to take over and spill them.
Forced out to his left. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Strong coverage by Carolina. And on we go to 4th down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes. You don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
And he'll return this one all the way onto the other side of the field.
But that seems a little devil-may-care there, doesn't it? They gave up 3 points, but how about them coming right back and putting themselves in a position to get points of their own?
Carolina getting set to take the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on 3rd down. This is how they will line it up defensively for Washington. This unit currently 7th in the NFL, Charles, in stopping the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. To throw on 3rd down. Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
And caught left side, Olsen. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season opener.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Torrey Smith, his third touchdown now on the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation in a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation, because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Gano now to add the extra point. Gano the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. Gano out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
And he's Adrian Peterson off to the races. And he cuts right sideline and some room to go. Touchdown, Washington. Adrian Peterson, 79 yards. And the Redskins get the quick strike touchdown. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front, because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
On is Hopkins now for the extra point. Extra point good by Hopkins. And it's now 17-14. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. Moore now on the return. And now running right through it. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They start the drive with Anderson. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 17-14. We'll head back to FedEx Field after this timeout. They've got it 2nd and 6 to start things out. The shotgun snap for Newton. Smith catches left side. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
first down. Here's the run with Anderson. And an alley to run. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. C.J. Anderson with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Gano for the extra point. Extra point try good by Gano. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Gano out to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. And, Charles, you can't really fault him. He's over 100 yards already. He's not the reason they're losing.
And that is really unusual, because ordinarily when you set the tone this way and have run it this effectively, usually your team's in control. So it's a very strange situation. And you're right, you can't fault him. He's done a great job for his team thus far.
I'm guessing he's saying, feed me on the sidelines. Now will they continue to do it? They go play action here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Shaq Thompson coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. In that second. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. K1 Short in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play, because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. And it's actually been out of the backfield, handing the ball off where they've had a lot of success. So if you're the quarterback, do you just maybe say, maybe this isn't my day, our running game's going so well, you just continue to lean on that?
I agree. That's exactly what you do. And you have to kind of take your ego and put it aside, because you always think your next throw is going to be your best throw, right? Your next play is going to be your best play. Lean on what's working for you right now. That should help carry your team to victory if things keep going in the direction that they are.
Yeah, because the formula has them the lead currently. On second down, here's Newton. Anderson a first down and more. Hauled in by Anderson, left side. And he'll take this all the way up to the 38-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Funches with a catch over the middle. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Handoff comes to Anderson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
To throw on 2nd down is Newton. He goes underneath for Anderson. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's hit on his first 9 passes now in the ball game. 10th carry now for Anderson. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Tackle made there by Mason Foster.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And he's got his man on the out route. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
On 1st down, it's Newton. Dancing to his left. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, my Cam. There's times when I'm not analyzing up here. I'm just appreciating. Led NFL quarterbacks in rushing last year. He is truly the ultimate weapon at that position.
To throw on 2nd down. Newton. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jonathan Allen. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Newton. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Gano's kick is right through. And that'll make this a 7-point game. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle. Right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend. Don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
A toss play. This is Peterson. A spin. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What, is it 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Captain Mutterland. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment. But there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more.
Anderson loses the football, and the Redskins scoop it. And they're going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't been on passing, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback in the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. And here come the Redskins now. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A 10th carry now for Peterson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now they'll run it on the toss. Trying to find some space to turn upfield, but this defense having none of it. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
Now back to throw. Out to his left. And that is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
So I'm not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. Time for us to spotlight C.J. Anderson. He's had it working pretty well here in this first half up until that last drive when he put it on the turf, Charles.
So I don't think they want to overreact to that fumble, because now you've got a guy that's played so well. You don't want to take him and limit his effectiveness by worrying about it too much. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw him next week at meetings. He'd have a football with him at all times.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jonathan Allen in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. From the gun, here's Newton. Flushed out right, and he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down. The Panthers on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is third down and 12. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Jay Ajayi, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. Next, we head off to check out another game, and they've got the lead in their matchup with the Tampa Bay Bucs. Julio Jones up over 100 yards receiving with 2 touchdown grabs. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area, see what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they trail in that ball game to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. 2 touchdown passes there for Russell Wilson. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? Find out. We give it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can. And Peterson, what happened? He lost the football. But the Redskins look to get this one back, and indeed they did. It's still Washington football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now a play fake here on first down. Steps away to his left. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
On play action, they'll throw. Looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Captain Mutterland. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his second interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And we have seen a lot on the scoreboard here in this quarter. So sometimes you talk to me about tendency breakers on offense. These defenses struggling. Are there tendency breakers on defense?
All defensive coordinators keep something in their hip pocket for these types of situations. What can we do to slow down the onslaught? But the biggest thing is make sure these guys encourage each other, pick themselves up, because right now, it's been a really tough ball game trying to stop these offenses.
Oh, it really has, especially as of late.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game, so he's really made his presence felt in this one.
Looking to throw on second down. Newton. His throw caught right around the 6. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Jarius Wright, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
It's never fun for a defense to run on the field knowing that they're having to defend a short field. Just the idea of trying to limit an offense in that position, daunting for a defense.
Gano out to kick this one away. So out now come the Redskins. Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. He finds an opening past the 40. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And some room to maneuver.
I know anytime you watch a team run the ball really well, there's a pinball effect, people bouncing off of each other. There's also some things of beauty in there when you see these nice, explosive, strong runs. And this guy, he knows how to carry the football really well and continually wants the football. Why? He knows the offensive line's going to give him great effort, and he gives great effort himself to finish off runs. Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards, but after a play like that, he may tell them, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
Back to throw. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Julius Peppers in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Being chased out left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on second down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. It certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. Here's Tressway now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Screen play, Anderson. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Newton on 3rd down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Brown. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. This guy is in a zone. Remember, he had a sack hat trick last week. That got him NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Another one right here.
I love how you phrased that, in the zone, because I'm a firm believer that like a running back, like a quarterback, when guys get hot and get locked in, the same thing happens for guys getting sacks. Their moves are working, and they're getting home and putting guys on the ground.
Here's Michael Pilardi now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 18. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. He is north of 200 yards. Any time that you can say you're north of 200 yards, you've done something right.
Yeah, you're going to get some big check marks on your grade sheet, and you're going to be in heavy rotation on all the highlight shows, and you might even make a magazine cover or 2.
He's hoping for more, the cherry on top maybe, as this game goes forward. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the 1st. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space.
Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Mario Addison in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
We got chips over here. Chips over here.
He'll look to throw. Out to the left here to Reed. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Carolina getting set to take the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
What is that? 180.
Again, Anderson. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They give it to Anderson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
They'll try the air now with Newton. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. Here's Anderson. Yeah, great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. They fake the give. Newton. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Jonathan Allen able to disrupt yet another pass play. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Operating from the gun, Newton. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Fabian Moreau. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
All right, here we go.
First down, here's the run with Peterson. He's to the 10. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Now, that's the kind of run that fires up an entire team. Tackled at the 2-yard line. For the defensive guys, a little bit of a sigh of relief, though, that they stopped him short of the goal line. Now they got to figure out how to shore up the rest of the defense.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run for it with Peterson. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
He's going to get it running right. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Doesn't take any great analysis on my part. It's been pretty obvious. Last couple of plays, these guys have been going in the wrong direction.
Offensive line overwhelmed on those plays. Now, I think it's safe to say going to the air here on 3rd. In their mind, certainly a field goal try would be a letdown. They had the great starting field position, now facing 3rd down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. So with a 4th and goal looming, we hit the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL. Back now at FedEx Field. It's the Redskins with the football, but trailing here as we get down to the good stuff. Quarter number 4. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
getting set to go again here. Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zach Brown in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Another tote here for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Anderson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now, standing just outside his own goal line. And taken right on the 30. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points up.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Mario Addison in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
He'll drop to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Well, the pretty move couldn't create much space. Down just beyond the 35. And now time will be called here as we've got an injured Redskin down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Rolling to his right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. So he got free at 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Carolina getting set to take the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
They run it again with Anderson. And they'll get him down up past the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Play action. It's Newton. He's going to let this one go deep. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Trailing in the fourth, this close in the game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Following the penalty, Anderson. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and short. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the 2-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice game, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Leopard!
They run again on 1st down. Peterson. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Carry number 20 now for Peterson. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Third down, it's Adrian Peterson. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
To throw on second down. Newton, and caught left side, Olsen. Greg Olsen, nobody ahead of him. The 40, past the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Greg Olsen, 79 yards. And the Panthers add on to their lead. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Gano the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Gano out to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Well, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. The reception good for 7. It's third down. They're going to look to throw. No, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be fourth down.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on fourth down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Anderson. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for Carolina, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Philly to take on the Eagles. Meanwhile, for Washington, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Dallas Cowboys. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Landover.